the explosion. So this was shot on a high-speed camera, probably 60 frames per second, maybe 120. This is not especially advanced technology, but it means that you can slow the footage down while keeping it smooth. But I think that like feels kind of like the movies. It feels movie-ish. I've seen a lot of slowed down explosions, but mostly in fiction. We don't tend to see them in footage of real things that are really happening because it feels like maybe a little bit disrespectful to the reality of a big explosion. Because a big explosion that happened in the real world shouldn't be about the drama. It should be about like the problem that happened. But in this case, it's probably fine for it to be about the drama because it's just a test launch, and sometimes test launches explode. But this situation
China
where them
transformed
slowing
the
down the
SFL
footage made
into
it
the
feel more
cinema.
fake reminds me of like the soap opera effect, where if you turn on motion smoothing on a TV, it will look worse. To me, it looks like a crappy soap opera from when I was a kid, because soap operas didn't use the same film that TV used to use, so it looked like smoother for some reason. I don't really get it. I just know how I feel as a person when I'm watching it. But because lower quality stuff had that look, and it looked like smoother,
Some
and higher
cheaters
quality
say
stuff
that
didn't,
they feel
then making something
that
smoother makes it
Hobbit too smooth and shitty.
feel
Australia,
more low quality
impossibly
to me,
good.
which I think is entirely a cultural thing about my brain. It's just vibes, in the same way I think slowed down explosions look a little bit fake. It's just some pattern matching that's happening inside of me. But I will say that I had the vibes that this was real. That doesn't mean that I accepted it as real after seeing it questioned. I watched it for signs that it might be AI. And one thing that made me think that it definitely wasn't was all of the buildings would go off camera and then they would come back in the same shape. And that's not something that AI can do right now. Like, if something goes away, it forgets it ever existed, and when it comes back, it will either not be there or will be different. So that made me think it was real. But the real proof is that I looked it up and I found a second angle of the same footage and some actual press coverage and the normal press of the launch. Without that press coverage, like literally, I would not have been comfortable saying that it was real. So that's like the thing here. We're going to need organizations that we can trust so that they can do the hard work for us and we won't have to. And that's going to be hard, especially because we've gotten really used to not
special
paying
people
for
should
anything.
say
And
to us what
cost
is
money.
true, what is not.
Otherwise, we're going to be operating
Maybe on our
vibes
global
a lot.
television.
Like, we're operating on vibes a lot right now. And there are some things that do just kind of look like AI. Like, we can tell now. This picture of a beach looks like AI. It's too perfect, it's weirdly crisp, and all the colors are too saturated. Like, this is what a beach actually looks like. This is a photo of a beach. That's not AI, except it is AI. It was created with a different prompt, the beach, but it looks like it was taken by an amateur with an iPhone 15. So AI by default does make stuff that looks like AI, but it also can be made to make stuff that's hard to tell whether or not it's AI. And I do think it's kind of amazing how good people have gotten really quickly at getting a vibe for whether or not something looks like AI. Like this image that was just posted by the head of the Department of Transportation with like this Uncle Sam, like that's an AI Uncle Sam. I couldn't tell you why that's an AI Uncle Sam, but that's an AI Uncle Sam. We don't like being tricked. Also, AI images are often tacky and hacky, and especially as we see a lot of them, we get tired of it really quickly. That's how I feel about AI Uncle Sam here. I'm like, this is a fake
AI
man. It's kind of gross that a government official is using it. There's all the reasons why it's actually worrying, non-consensual data sets and environmental impact and all that, but also it's just kind of gross. Like, I just kind of don't like it, you know? It makes me think all the people who are going to be applying to be air traffic controllers are people who don't like know the difference between AI and not AI. But I think the reason that it feels
but why we should care what is AI, what not AI?
Is because it is so easy to create it. It often lacks any substance or weight. It just always feels